Harman Visuals is expanding its support for the wind energy sector, bringing film and video production services to the front lines of the energy transition. But before I get anywhere near a turbine, I need to get trained up in the Global Wind Organisation's training programme. So today we've come down to Belay Rope Access in New Haven, and you're coming with us for the full journey. A big thank you to the centre for sponsoring today's video. Coming up, I find out how to rescue a technician stuck on a turbine,
lower him down,
have a chilly reality check on what sea survival really means.
That would be a good target for the helicopter to see us.
Get my hands dirty with a team first aid scenario. Can you get down and check his airways? And go 0 dark 30, learning how to escape a nacelle engulfed in flames. Walking me through the course is instructor Tej Ajamal. With 31 years in the fire brigade and 20 in rope access, Tej is a veteran of some of the most high stakes and physically demanding environments out there. With that kind of experience behind him, I know I'm in safe hands as we dive into the first module.
Hello, my name's Tej. I'm the instructor with Luke today. We're going to be going through a range of learning today: work positioning, fall arrest, scaffold hooks, inertia reels and fixed systems. Then we're going to be doing a few rescues, a passive rescue, an active rescue, and then an evacuation, a drop-off. We'll get the harnesses on, have a little play on the ladder, see what you like, and then we'll move on.
Fantastic.
We're going to use these scaffolds in case we fall. If we fall or slip, then this will catch us. We always need to have one attached.
So we can move and always have one anchor point?
Yeah, exactly that. If I want to work on the ladder, I would then get my work positioning belt, place that onto a structural part of the ladder, clipping it from side to side. Now all the weight is on the work positioning belt. If that fails, I have a backup. Happy with that?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to do that.
Let's do it.
That's it, lovely. And then just come back down. We'll go up this aluminium ladder as well. We're going to engage the sides because they're stronger. When you're ready, go into work positioning. What we're trying to do there is create muscle memory. Clap your hands. There we go. So we know that you're not holding on, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Is your back on the wall? Are you tuned?
Not quite.
No, okay.
No.
Have a little go up there. This looks like a tower, but in fact it is a ladder. Good. Well done. How does that feel?
Yeah, good.
Lovely. As you found out, the scaffolds can be a bit slow and cumbersome. For the turbines, they tend to use an inertia reel, so that would be this one.
Yep.
You saw that if I pull it too fast,
it jams.
It just jams, yeah? So that would go again onto the sternum, and you can see that it's just going to be quicker to climb. If you wanted to work on the ladder, if you wanted to rest, you wouldn't lock that off and rest on that, you'd damage it.
Okay.
You'd go into work positioning. Good. As well as that, you could have a fixed wire. There's a range of systems that could go onto a fixed wire. This one here, attach that to my sternum, put that onto there. If I'm climbing up, it'll just follow me up.
Yep.
If I fall, it'll just lock.
Right.
Yeah, then to release it, I need to raise it up.
Okay.
And bring it down. Again, you wouldn't rest on it. If you rest, what do you go into?
Work positioning.
Work positioning, good.
I've had my crash course on the ladders, got to grips with the fall arrest and restraint gear. It's time to put it all into action.
I want you to inspect something here. We're going to go up the ladder. We're going to climb behind the rail, and then we're going to disconnect our fall arrest system. Then we're going to walk over to this side. We're going to connect the scaffolds to back it up. Put that up there, nice and high. A work positioning belt to the handrail. Then we're going to step outside our collective protection. Clap your hands. What are you in now?
Work positioning.
Perfect, perfect, lovely.
Now that I've learned how to safely climb and secure myself to a structure, just like a technician would when welding, repairing or cleaning, it's time to move on to our first rescue scenario, helping a teammate who's been injured while working at height.
Someone's going to be hanging here on the ladder. You're going to go up, lift them off their anchors and then lower them down, a passive rescue. What we're going to be using is a constant rate descender. So that is designed for evacuation. 2 people can attach to that, jump off the turbine if it's on fire, and that will lower them down. I would attach that to my casualty, and I'm going to lift that casualty off their scaffold hook.
Time to dive straight in and have a go for myself. Our teammate heads up to play casualty. I follow close behind, clip in my work positioning belt, attach the descender to the ladder and my teammate, take the weight off his anchor, release it, and lower him down.
Lovely. So active rescue is for someone who's really badly hurt, okay? Passive rescue, they're conscious, okay? They can assist in the rescue. Active rescue, they're unconscious, really badly hurt, certainly can't assist you, so we're going to go down with them. And at this point, we're trying to keep them alive.
And with that, Tej heads up to show us how it's done.
Start to climb down, before you come up to me, turn that wheel. This works better, just walking down the ladder with the casualty.
After that quick demo from Tej, now it's my turn to be the rescuer.
You're the rescuer, go and rescue him, yeah?
First things first, I buckle in my work positioning belt, so my hands can be free for what's next.
Okay, yeah, good.
Then I get the controlled rate descender ready to connect both me and the injured.
We're now raising both you and the casualty.
I pull the rope through the descender to capture the progress and loosen up the casualty's anchor. Then I release their anchor and away we go.
Right, you happy with all that?
Yeah.
You seem fairly comfortable at heights. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, somewhat.
The turbine's a little bit higher.
We used to have a partner company in Athens, in Greece. They were a fantastic bunch of guys, really experienced blade repair technicians. All of a sudden, their client demanded, almost overnight, they had to have GWO training. So they phoned me up. It was a Wednesday morning. They said, "Can you come to Athens tomorrow to give us GWO training?" And I said, yes. And I got on a flight at about 3 a.m. the next morning from Gatwick. Arrived in Athens, we drove for a couple of hours, got on a ferry, drove for another hour, and I said, "Are we near the training centre yet?" And they said, "We don't have a training centre. We're using that turbine." So we started doing the rescues, the basic rescues that you did. And I said, "Well, we need to do a simulated evacuation." So we climbed to the top of this 60-metre turbine, and then we were in the nacelle, and I was looking around and thinking, who's going to go first? And they all looked at me. So I said, well, what's the worst that could happen? And then let go, and that was that. It's not something I'd recommend doing in anger. The only real reason you're going to be doing it is if someone is either very severely injured or if the whole thing's on fire.
Yeah.
And then you need to get out in a hurry.
Lucky for me, my evacuation training is taking place a little closer to the ground. But stories like Ian's remind us the real working environment of the wind sector can be far less forgiving.
Okay, so we're at the top of the wind turbine.
Yep.
It's on fire, or the lift's broken, or the ladder's broken. Yeah, okay, we just need to get down quite quickly, okay, in a rush. We've got a rescue kit, yeah, that one there, this one, okay, they're all the same, they're all concentrated senders. Okay, so the one we were using for the active and the passive rescues,
Yeah.
we can use this for this as well. That's a concentrated sender.
Got you.
The first thing we need to do is find an anchor. So you're going to take your CRD here and you're going to clip that up there. I can hold this rope and control your descent through that hatch, or we can just drop.
Let's do a drop.
Go.
Cool. There we go.
Up next, we're going to go over to the river, use the estuary there, okay, and do the sea survival module.
Awesome. Let's go. And make sure to keep watching till the end of the video, as we've still got first aid and fire awareness still to come.
Okay, so sea survival down on the dock now. We're going to be doing a boat transfer in and out of the boat, up the ladder, drop off on the concentrate descender, swimming techniques, then get in and out of a life raft.
Fantastic. Let's do it. Accessing a turbine usually starts with a simple yet tricky move, stepping off of the boat and grabbing hold of a ladder on what's known as the transition piece. Here, we're starting in reverse, moving from the turbine to the boat. This maneuver relies on one key thing: perfect communication between the technician and the transfer supervisor guiding them down.
Right, good. Two. So 3, 2, 1, step, one, step back. Okay. Okay. Happy with that?
Yep.
What I quite liked, he was holding the strings of the ladder, but then as soon as he could, he put his hands onto the rounds of the ladder to give himself a better grip. If we want to, we can in unison get this moving a bit. If we all go and sort of, yeah. Are we happy with that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If it's all rocking and we fall in, we need to remember to pull our cord. Who's in charge of the transfer, Luke?
Boat crew.
Boat crew, yeah. Okay. So you're going to step up onto the box here. So it's brace. Wait. Brace. Tip onto that with your frog. And as soon as I say go. Okay, and at the top to collect some protection.
Here in the sheltered waters of the estuary, this transfer might look quite tame, but offshore, it's another story. The motion of the vessel and the force of the weather can turn it into a test of balance, timing, and precision.
The transfer element, getting to the turbine and back off again, it is the most hazard-rich element of your going to work. You're stepping off a moving vessel that's going up and down by maybe 1.6 meters each wave. You've seen during the training, you've seen dozens of videos of when it's gone wrong. And not frequently, but it does go wrong. People have had very, very lucky escapes. It'll be interesting in 10, 15 years whether we'll look back on what we used to do now, where we've got relatively small boats and we're clambering up a ladder, scampering away from the boat to stop it hitting us, and then scampering back down again. I wonder whether we'll look back and think, what were they thinking?
As precarious as the transfer practice may be, it still beats ending up in the water. But there are moments when that's exactly what you might have to do. If there's a fire in the nacelle, if the ladder's compromised, or if the only way out is straight down and into the cold blue. That's where our trusty controlled rate descender comes back into play. A last resort zipline exit I hope I'll never have to use.
Step one up over the edge. That way you'll be able to see. Stay on that.
Sit back.
And then just lean back now. So if you lean all the way back, it's going to be much easier. Get your hands out flat.
Yep.
So that you can protect your head.
Yep.
All right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
After a clean descent and an inflated life jacket, your challenges are still far from over. From there, you'd need to swim, reach a life raft, or form a tight huddle with any other evacuees. And doing that in industrial PPE that floats like a balloon and moves like a wetsuit full of bricks is harder than it looks. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! But thankfully, Tej has a few tricks to make this a bit more manageable.
You're going to lose quite a lot of heat there. If you can keep your legs down, a bit harder with those life jackets, we're going to try and huddle. Come on, huddle. We can engage our arms, or there's actually a strap here that we can put our hands through. So we'll just hold on to here, and that would be a good target for the helicopter to see us.
Got you.
Bigger target, and we're all together, maybe a bit of moral support.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. If we're going to swim like this, we'd all have to work together.
Yep.
And just move our arms, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, but if you're out at sea, there's no point in swimming because you're not really going anywhere, are you?
No.
Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, you just wait for the helicopter. Okay, happy with that?
Yep.
So huddle here, escape resting position, which is sort of the crunch, okay? Okay. And then swimming, okay?
Cool. With a few new swimming techniques up my sleeve, the next test is getting out of the water and into a life raft.
Grab onto one of these. And there's like a yellow dangly bit, white dangly bits. Do you want to put your foot in there? That's nice.
Okay, are we all happy, Lou?
Yep.
We'll all get back in the water and then we'll come out.
Great.
Happy with that? Yeah, okay.
So, there we have it. The basics of getting onto a turbine and the emergency drills for when things go sideways. The kind of skills I'm very glad to have, but sincerely hope I'll never need. Doing the descent into the water, getting into the life raft, working out how to swim around and stay safe in that environment. You realise how serious it could be if you fall into open waters. But that's where our rescue services come in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Around the UK, we've got such a brilliant search and rescue capability that realistically, if you're going into the water, man overboard or something like that, you're going to have a helicopter above you within minutes. To be honest with you, you're going to be in the pub by tea time.
But even with this exceptional emergency service at the UK's disposal, all jokes aside, new technology is changing how and where wind farms are being built.
The industry's getting further and further offshore. Fields of floating turbines are going to be coming into operation, and they're further and further in deep water, not on the continental shelf.
Traditional offshore turbines are fixed to the seabed. Floating turbines, on the other hand, sit on buoyant foundations, meaning they can be installed further out at sea where there's fewer shipping restrictions and more available space. And this makes it all the more important to know the safety procedures related to sea survival. We've climbed dizzying heights and tested ourselves in cold waters. Now it's time to learn the knowledge that can really buy us time in an emergency situation.
I've been a first aider for like 40 years, most of that in the fire brigade, dealing with first line trauma, quite a few dead people, unfortunately, injuries, car crashes, people on spikes, decapitated. What we're looking for out of this course really is just basic first aid, keeping people alive really until help gets there. There's a few points we need to go through. Back slaps and abdominal thrust for choking, recovery position, basic bandaging and CPR. Then we're going to join the other team to do a practical exercise in the training area.
First up are the choking procedures.
We're going to pat them on the back and try and clear that airway 5 times. If you get it right, that'll come out. There we go. 5 pats, belts on the back, check them. What now then?
Abdominal thrusts.
Yep. Take them from the back.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to engage our hands and our thumb. Okay. And what we're trying to do now is lift up and outwards. It's not just like compress it, it's like lift up and outwards. There you go. Hang on.
Okay.
So it came out on virtually straight away.
Oh.
We don't want to keep doing that. We need to check. Yeah, okay. Okay. If we can clear the choking and they're breathing, we would put them in the recovery position.
Before today, I didn't know the specifics of how to put somebody in the recovery position. Here, I'm just hazarding a guess based on my teammate's attempt to put me in the recovery position off camera a moment ago.
Where are we getting that arm from?
It's what he did for me, so I copied it.
Okay. So another option could be to put the arm there, bring up this knee for leverage.
Yep.
Okay, just to assist us. Then you see his head goes straight on that arm, doesn't it? So that gives you a little bit of comfort and cushioning there. Get his centre of gravity onto here, kind of like resting on that arm, and if it's able to, and that knee. And then obviously we would have to check his airway, that he's still breathing. The reason we put him into the recovery position, the key point is that we're happy with their breathing. What happens if they're not breathing?
Start CPR.
You're opening up their chest, finding their sternum, locking your hands and giving them heart compressions, okay? Like that, yeah? And what sort of rhythm are we going at? What sort of speed are we going at?
It's the half staying alive thing.
Where did you get that from?
The Office.
What, you mean the programme The Office?
Yeah, they did a scene of this exact thing.
Did they?
Yeah.
Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive.
That's what we're storyboarding this based on.
Yeah. We're going to come in the room, I'll call out what's happening, you do the CPR.
So I walked in, checked the surrounding area, no surrounding danger to me.
Yeah.
I can attend the casualty. Hello, are you okay?
No response.
Call 999 or shout help.
Now we're going on to the airway, and we're doing that by looking, listening and feeling.
Okay, they're not breathing.
And what we're doing now?
Moving on to CPR.
Turn on the defib.
Place the pad on the patient's chest.
We agree that goes there. The jolt is going to go through the line of the heart.
Right.
It's a lot easier with the defib. Defibs are saving lives. Simple as that.
Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock delivered.
And bandages are saving lives too, which I'm trying my hand at now before we jump into the team exercise.
All good, yeah?
Yeah.
Should we put all that into practice now? We're going to link up with the other team and sort a problem out. We're a team on a wind turbine. We're going to go through a little scenario as a team. We've walked onto a work site and we can see someone on the floor there.
Okay, so there's somebody's injured. Can you call the emergency services or anybody in charge of that?
Yes.
Can you all follow me and we'll get sorted out, and somebody grab the first aid kit while we're at it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's safe to enter the scene. We have, it looks like he's fallen.
Just got them, they're coming in 5 minutes.
Fantastic. Sir, can you get down and check his airways, see if we've got breathing or anything?
Did we check for any dangers?
Not very thoroughly.
He was asphyxiated. He's got a constriction in his throat, but through a chemical, not through a substance.
Oh, okay. Get the defibrillator ready. And can you be ready to take over for me?
Okay.
Thankfully, with a patient interjection from Tej, we're back on track and moving into CPR like we're supposed to. And honestly, that's exactly what this environment is for.
Check breathing.
Doing everything in the wrong order here,
Attach defib pad to patient's clear chest.
so that when we're out in the field, we actually do it in the right one.
Touch patient. Analyzing. Press flashing shock button.
Center, in the center.
Shock delivered. Start CPR.
Okay, can you take over CPR? think it would be daunting for anyone to have to deliver first aid in their everyday life. When we look at doing first aid in the offshore wind industry, what else do we have to bear in mind?
Well, the fact that if you call an ambulance, nobody's going to come. Even if you're onshore, you're going to be in the middle of a field, out in the countryside somewhere, 80 metres up. And any paramedic is just going to turn up and say, well, I'm not sure about that. There have been incidents. There was an incident a couple of years ago where a technician who was commissioning a turbine fell and caused a bad head injury. I think I read the report and it took over 90 minutes for the first medic to actually get to the casualty.
90 minutes? These first aid exercises aren't just a box to check on the course curriculum. In an emergency scenario, the difference between personnel knowing first aid and not can be life or death. Every second counts, and knowing how to keep yourself safe while supporting a casualty can be just as important.
How was that?
It was all right.
So danger to yourself could be cross-contamination, not necessarily, but it could be that. Yeah, okay. Danger here was a caustic substance, and then because they're not breathing, we went straight to CPR, and as soon as we could do, we got that defib involved. Yeah, okay. The reason I threw something quite complicated in there, because I sensed that you weren't checking the dangers to you.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It is that awareness of what's going on around you, that spatial awareness, not just lunging in and helping. Yeah, danger to you is top priority because you might be the only other person on the turbine.
We've tackled everything from manual handling and working at height to surviving at sea and administering first aid. Each skill building on the last. A blueprint for staying calm and capable when things don't go to plan. But even with all that preparation, some situations can escalate out of our control. A spark, a short circuit, an oil spill, and suddenly the focus shifts from confronting an emergency to getting out alive. Which brings us to our last module.
Generally built in windy places, big and tall, sticking up in the air. That sounds like a chimney to me. One of the incidents that we talk about during the training, there was a dramatic fire. From the first spark to complete destruction, the nacelle was about 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
To complete destruction, engulfed in flames. So you can imagine if there were people inside there, they got very, very big decisions to make.
With that sobering intro to fire awareness, it's time for Tej to teach us the ropes one last time.
We're going to start off with entering into that room where we're going to find a casualty alight. We're going to operate a fire extinguisher to put the casualty out. We're going to pull the pin out, take the tag off, put the horn up to the horizontal position, aim it at the base of the fire and press the trigger.
Got you.
Lovely. Crouch down a little bit. Check for heat, open the door on the hinge side so that the door is protecting you. Get the centre of gravity low and extinguish the fire. Lovely. We'll try that with the fire blanket. This time, however, we're going to approach as if it was a smoke-filled room. We're going to have our left hand on the wall and approach it with a sweep, just checking the floor is in good condition. Pick up the fire blanket, approach the fire using that as a shield, and then put that over, then tuck it in around the casualty. Lovely. Now we're going to extract that casualty as part of a big scenario. So we're going to go back in, open up the door, lift up the casualty, take him up the stairs, and then take him to the escape hatch at the back, and then the concentrate descender. You take the top, I'll take the legs. Again, this is a part of the manual handling. So if you put your hands under the arms, and we'll just take the casualty up, Nice lift from the legs, there we go.
Simulating a fire escape scenario from the top of a turbine in the pitch black with a heavy casualty really drives home just how serious an emergency could actually be. The crux of the issue when you're in that environment is the fact that you can hardly see anything, and then you've got smoke on top of that.
Completely, yeah. If you are really in that environment, your chances of survival are very low. So to prevent that happening in the first place is the most important thing.
Put the casualty down and you open the door.
And it's not just the pressure to get out as fast as possible that shifted my perspective.
So when you're ready, attach that to you.
Yep.
Lovely. We'll get you jumping over.
It's the knowledge that this abseil I'm gearing up for.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, rope below.
On an actual turbine could be at least a 100-metre descent.
Lovely. Very slick.
Seeing just how much technical precision goes into a course like this, every scenario, every safety check, every split-second decision, it makes you realise just how much responsibility rests on the shoulders of the workforce the course is training. Out on the wind farms, they're not just maintaining machinery, they're stepping into the territory of nature herself. And I've learned she can be quite unforgiving. The very fact this course exists is a reminder that despite the chatter about the potential of new technologies to replace workers in high-risk environments, there's no shortage of tasks that still call out for human skill, intuition, and courage to keep our homes and businesses powered by sustainable energy. One thing that I've taken away from this course has been that for all the noise and excitement that there is around automation and robotics and things like that, you cannot replace the role of the human being,
No.
at least in this day and age, in the wind industry.
Yes, you're looking at drones for doing blade inspections. You're looking at high-res video surveys of the blades. But when it comes down to it, the Mark I human eyeball is still vitally important. It's a massive industry in the UK. We're lucky to be involved in it. I'm passionate about it. There's a great history of engineering and working offshore. So I'm really passionate about spreading this message that you don't have to go to university. You can earn more than your headmaster, and you can have an incredible career and travel the world doing this fantastic job. And where do you want to be? Do you want to be in a factory making a plastic widget? Or do you want to be 15 miles offshore, 100 metres up in a wind turbine, producing electricity for the national grid? That's a no-brainer.
So Tej, it's been an amazing few days.
Good,
I feel like
yeah.
you've taken me up a steep learning curve, but it's
Yeah.
been good fun.
Yeah.
And it's given me a real respect for the work that the technicians and everybody in the wind industry are doing on and offshore.
How did you find the online learning?
Online learning was good. It was compact. It didn't take too long.
Then we focused on all the practical exercises. We did the working at height. Then we moved on to sea survival. The manual handling was incorporated into the first day,
Yeah.
but also the second day as well. We did the first aid. How did you find that?
Yeah, very engaging, and kind of doing the CPR on the dummy with a few people around, you kind of suddenly realise how quickly you get worn out from it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's hard work, first aid. And then lastly, we did the fire awareness. That is predominantly a practical thing, really. Getting used to sort of being in smoke and getting used to sort of overcoming those fears. We've got a nice training centre here. Good instructors.
Great instructors.
Thank you for that. The online learning, which is new to us, has been a real benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, because people get the chance to learn at their own speed, and hopefully the 2.5 days of practical exercises is a winner.
Tej, for people watching this video, they might be inspired to get into a career in this sector.
Yeah.
Who are you catering to?
Well, we're catering for people wanting to go onto the wind turbines. We also teach enhanced first aid and advanced rescue techniques.
Okay.
Okay. The sort of career path that people going onto the wind turbines would be having would be maybe electricians, technicians, cable jointers.
Yep.
Okay, surveyors. We focus on blade repair as well, the wind turbine blades. Okay, and that involves abseiling. So we do a course called Errata, which is teaching people how to abseil.
Okay.
The whole range of everything that goes on in a wind turbine.
Excellent. So if you're listening in and you want to get into a career in the renewable energy sector, you know where to come.
Winners' Cup, okay, and T-shirt for you, and as it says on here, Belay, training for a job less ordinary.
Let's go. Get your kit on.
No, that's after the run.